Last Friday, May 16th, an EF3 tornado ripped through the northern parts of the city of St. Louis. It was on the ground for 23 miles, leaving damages totaling $1 billion plus, killing 5 people and injuring 38 more. And the scandal to emerge since is the failure of the city's warning siren system, or the failure of emergency management personnel to engage that warning siren system, or, as we'll get to, really both. But the sirens never blared, so presumably some people were never warned. Perhaps some of these deaths or injuries could have been avoided if city emergency management people had done their jobs. And the viral scapegoat for this scandal is this woman, City Emergency Management Agency, or CEMA Commissioner Sarah Russell. Either that or Patton Oswalt has really let himself go. Even more, Russell's job as Emergency Management Commissioner included, yes, initiating those sirens upon National Weather Service tornado warning. In answering questions about why that didn't happen, Sarah Russell said, well, there were only 2 switches to initiate those sirens. One of them is at our office at CEMA, but we're not always there. We're more of a 9-to-5 operation.
The CEMA office is very small, and the majority of the time we work closer to business hours unless the need arises, such as what we're doing now, or special events. A lot of that work takes us out into the community, so we aren't necessarily in our office space at all times.
Well, the need arose, apparently, through the special event of a monster tornado that devastated the city. And even if they do stick to normal business hours at her office, this tornado touched down sometime around 2:30 in the afternoon on a weekday, so why weren't they at the office? Well, she and her small team were at an off-site workshop, according to the mayor. Some sort of training program yet to be explained with any specifics. So, a workshop on what, one can only wonder, but the lack of detail means we can be confident it was not a workshop on swift and efficient management of tornado scenarios. In response to this failure, the sirens not blaring and the CEMA team out to some kind of lunch at the time, Mayor Kara Spencer has now suspended Sarah Russell, removing her as Emergency Management Commissioner and placing her on paid leave pending investigation. Seems perfectly sensible, other than the continued public pay for not doing your one job and now not even working at all part. And yeah, I don't doubt that Sarah Russell probably was very ineffective in her role. Forget the city's emergencies. She looks like she has her own personal emergencies she can't manage. I'd probably even pick that carry yourself out of the burning building firefighter in LA over her if I had to take one to save my life.
Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Yeah. She looks like she could successfully complete a squat, at least. However, the more I got into this story, the more I think that Sarah Russell is just the fall lesbian for the lesbian who's really at fault, the mayor, Kara Spencer. And to be fair, I have no confirmation that either actually are lesbians, but also, you can't convince me that they're not. The mayor held daily press conferences during the week after the storm and insisted repeatedly that she takes accountability because the buck stops with her from right now going forward.
Who is supposed to take that responsibility? Like, who specifically?
Look, the buck stops with me moving forward. Okay, from this point forward, the buck stops with me.
Okay, so now that the tornado's all done, she stops bucks in the future. How awfully convenient. But no, she's not shirking accountability. Don't misunderstand. She accepts it eagerly.
I have an important role, and if I fail, I want to be held accountable.
Just don't make it like super accountable, though, you know? Keep it within reason.
Okay, but I'm also asking for grace.
So do people in St. Louis get some kind of grace discount on their taxes when she screws up then? Or how does this work? Full price for them, but under delivery for her? That sounds like a very bad deal. Besides, she gets plenty of grace. Days later, and local reporters were still asking her soft questions like, hey, isn't it sad that some people are being mean to the workshop lady on the internet?
We've been seeing death threats circulating online as it relates to Commissioner Sarah Russell. How are you responding to that type of negativity as it relates to her identity?
That is inappropriate and horrifying.
And also, How do you feel about the tornado, Miss Mayor?
We often forget we're all human.
Yes.
And we often ask you a lot of questions about the pressure that the people are putting on you. But Mayor, I want to take a moment. How do you feel?
This is emotional, and I'm feeling. At the same time we are taking moments to feel, we are also hard at work.
But they have asked questions enough, because throughout the week, they moved the mayor from "I have full confidence in all of my staff"
Do you still have faith in SEMA, and have there been any personnel changes?
We haven't had any personnel changes. I have faith in our entire team, and I have absolute faith in our system.
to the very next day. Well, actually, this was all just a giant onion of failure, just layers and layers of failure all around by many different people.
It's not one thing. It's a host of things. It's like pulling back an onion. We have systemic failure across so many systems here.
And so Sarah Russell is the first onion layer dice to give the impression of accountability. But was it really her fault? At least primarily. The mayor says the problem was a breakdown in protocol, as in clear process and instruction were not established or followed.
The protocol was really the problem here. I want to reiterate that. Not having a clear delineation of where the buck stops, that was the problem. We have done that. We have rectified the issue, and I am confident in the system moving forward.
And so the mayor has now moved the responsibility to activate the sirens from the emergency management agency to the fire department.
The protocol that is in place from this point forward is absolutely crystal clear, and our fire department will be moving forward with the role of making sure that that is deployed from this point forward.
Okay, so what was the protocol that failed then? You've now changed it to this policy, but what did you change it from? Oh, yeah, well, we don't really know, actually. It was kind of old and nobody really understood it.
This protocol was put in place in 2021. It was not exceptionally clear about whose roles and responsibilities it was to do what.
After referencing this mysterious ghost protocol of yesteryear for a few days, the mayor actually did release it on Tuesday, or at least a description of it, the same day that she suspended Sarah Russell. According to the old protocol, apparently drafted by Russell herself, Russell, as the SEMA commissioner, was to ensure the activation of the sirens at their primary activation point, the fire department. Failing that, the sirens could be activated at their secondary activation point, the SEMA office. Okay, so did Sarah Russell just never do that? Was she asleep at the workshop thinking someone else would do it? No, she called the fire department to ensure siren activation, actually. And we know that she made that call because Mayor Spencer has released audio of that call, supposedly implicating Russell for unclear communication. But she says on that call, "Hey, you guys down at the fire department, you know that you have to activate the sirens, right? Because the National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning, just like the protocol says, right?" And the fire department staffer responds, possibly misgendering, "Yes, ma'am."
So you got the tornado warning. I think that it said it goes till 2:35. Okay. The one that we just got it says 15:15. 2:15. Got it. Okay. You got the sirens. Yes, ma'am.
So what happened? Sarah Russell instructed the fire department to hit the sirens as the protocol specifies, and they didn't get hit. And maybe you can say, yeah, well, even if the fire department forgot, Sarah Russell still should have followed up because she oversees the activation of the sirens. Maybe, but here's the kicker. The sirens don't even work anyway, or at least the button to engage them doesn't, or maybe both. Who knows?
We learned that there were further issues. The button at the fire department was not working as it should have been. So regardless of that directive, that alarm system was not working in the way it should have been.
During a test Wednesday afternoon, it became clear that not all the sirens even work.
And hey, speaking of protocol, aren't these sirens something you might want to function check maybe once a year? How about in the spring, before the tornadoes come like they do every year in this state? Well, sure, but we didn't because hearing a siren is just very traumatic for our residents.
We know that testing the system is traumatic. And we wouldn't do it if we did not believe that it was absolutely necessary to ensure that our system is working well.
Huh. Well, where does the trauma of an unpleasant sound rank compared to the trauma of a surprise ride in a twister? Guess we'll have to ask the cow, because the mayor didn't explain. Yeah, but shouldn't Sarah Russell, the workshop lady, have overseen better siren testing? Isn't it still her fault? Sure, at least somewhat, but the mayor oversees all of it, including Russell herself. And the mayor's position, until it was too late, was that siren testing is harmful to the community. And given her explanation of events, the mayor's solution makes no sense. Before, the system was that the SEMA commissioner tells the fire department to hit the button to sound the sirens, but that was a bad system, apparently. So now the new system is the fire department just hits the button themselves. Okay, but that's the same thing, just removing one link in the chain. But that link wasn't even broken, actually. This new reform still relies on the same person who didn't press the button that doesn't even work anyway. The problem is, even if Sarah Russell was removed from the situation last week, the sirens still would not have activated, and the result would be the same. But hey, at least it'll be more efficient government failure next time. Take government efficiency any way you can get it. And speaking of government inefficiency, why are we even relying on human communication chains at all? This whole thing could be automated, couldn't it? As in, the National Weather Service issues a storm warning, and that immediately triggers siren activation automatically. Yeah, you have human backup because tech can fail, certainly during storms, but why wait for people when a computer can do it automatically? Oh, way ahead of you, says the city of St. Louis. We appropriated money for that a year and a half ago.
We also have a plan in place and funding that we had allocated a year and a half ago to automate this system.
Great. So where is it then? That sort of thing is not incredibly technically complicated. So how long is it going to take? Oh, only a year to go.
We are in the process of automating that system. Within a year, there will not be a need to have a human being press the button. That will be an automated system that will be in place within a year.
This takes like a line of code. If weather service warning, then execute siren.exe. You need Homer's drinking bird levels of tech to achieve it.
Shouldn't you be working?
I got someone to cover for me.
But the thing is, if your automated system has the weather service warning that triggers the sirens, well, that means everybody else has the warning too, because it's already out there in the public. The truth is, these sirens are probably almost never giving people information they don't already have, because the siren goes off on your phone anyway.
There was no indication, no sirens went off or anything, just, the text message on the text alert on our phones.
And yeah, not everybody has a phone. Not everybody carries a phone at all times. Communication systems can get knocked out. Redundancy is good with emergency systems, but the St. Louis city government is so desperately scrambling to repair an outdated notification system that very few actually rely on anyway. To that effect, there was a hilarious ending at Wednesday's press conference. After hours and days of reporters' questions and hours and days more of investigation and suspending the emergency management lady, an elderly city alderwoman approached the mic and gave everyone very useful information. Hey, did you guys know that you can just get those warnings on your phone instead?
You see this thing that's in our hand? I was at a luncheon when this thing happened, okay? 100 phones went off at the same time. You can sign up for the weather alerts. So, and that when you do that, then you don't have to depend on the outside noise or the outside speakers.
Hey, careful, lady, because you're talking yourself right out of a job there. But yeah, if it wasn't wasting time and money vigilantly chasing decades-old solutions to problems that other people solved better long ago already, well, it wouldn't even be government at all. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below, and especially over on X, that is at ML Christiansen. You're always welcome to coming out and chatting my live streams as live on Wednesday and Sunday nights. Looking forward to it. Come on. Hey, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, that means you probably found some value in the video. If you found some value in the video, please consider supporting my material. You can do that one time or recurring for as little as $1 a month. It not only helps me sustain, but it helps me pay the people who make my videos possible. Linked in the description for you, mattchristiansenmedia.com/support. Thanks for listening.